Okay. So before we left off, we saw the faculties, right? How you could give uh, permissions on a specific file and directory to a specific user, even though that user doesn't explicitly have indirect access. Okay, so what we're gonna do is if you just want to remove the access uh, to the user, you just have to run the command here. So let's see here. Remove faculty access. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to root. So if I see get faculty secret, right? Oh, it's not here. So where do I need to go? I need to go here and I need to run this command. Okay, so looks like Spider-Man has access, right? So what you could do is you run this command set faculty hyphen B as in boy, and then hit enter. And then if you do get faculty again, you see the permission has been removed. Okay, so there is, I'm not gonna go and try and test it out, but I know for sure it is now, it will remove it from giving the access here. And we already worked on the change ownership and stuff, right? Let me take a look here. Permissions, chown. Okay. Now the last thing in the permissions arena, what I'm going to show you is the permissions arena is the password age. Okay. So what I'm going to do is if you see ch clear everything, and as a root, what you might want to do is type CHAGE terminator. Oh no, sorry. CHH hyphen L as in Larry, Terminator. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, this is, I think most of this is self-explanatory. No, is it the same as what I see for you guys, or is it different? It's same, right? Mhm. Okay, let's focus on X-Men. Can you guys do CHH hyphen L X-Men? For X-Men? Why is it? Okay, let's create a new user, okay? User add, um, let's do Batman, Batman, and hit enter. And type CHAGE hyphen L Batman. Okay, it should come something like this on the screen. You seeing never, never, never? Oh God, shoot. Did I, for Batman, the one you just created? I don't know. Did you guys change any configuration in there? I don't think so. That's what I say. I don't think so. Um, so you just created user. What about people online? Are you seeing the same thing or is it different?
Um,
Mine is doing what yours is doing, Mrs. Zafar. Are you what user are they?
There should be regular user.
the only difference what I see over mine is the maximum number is your 60, mine is 99999, and rest of the things is never, and you just like a password inactive. I don't have any this one. Rest of the things are same.
Give me 1 second here. Where am I right now? Maybe I'm in a wrong place. Are you guys on your first box? Everybody, can you confirm?
Means first server
Yeah, I'm on my first server.
or Western server.
No, not on Bastion server.
Okay, yeah, I'm on my first server.
Okay, good. Um, are you as a root? Everybody's as a root?
Yep.
Okay, I don't know why it's doing that. I cloned it or what I have as mine. Can you exit and come back in again? come back into your first server. And yeah, then sudo to root. So try creating a user add. Then what I'm gonna do is I already have Batman here, right? Cat etc password. So I already have Batman and stuff. 3004. Give me 1 second here. Cat etc. Okay, let's try a new user. User add, and then we're gonna give you is there a superhero you guys could talk about? Let's do Iron Man. Okay. I'm adding a user Iron Man.
Mrs. Zafar, what box are you in on your second server?
I'm on 123, my first box.
That's the on the top, right?
No, if you look on your list here, on your own list, I'm on 10.1.10.123. You should be on 10.1.10.42. No, sorry, 10.1.10.69. Is
Yeah,
that where you are?
I'm on 69. And
Okay.
then my second, you have two box servers open though. Should I be on 64?
No, this is just these are both same boxes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
In fact, I don't need this right now, so I'm gonna minimize this. So I did user add Iron Man, right? And I do CHAGE -L Iron Man. And what do you guys are seeing? Are you seeing, did you guys create Iron Man? And what are you seeing for,
Except password expires, you have a date. I don't have. It's like it's never. And the number of days warning. It's like you have no, number of days between password changes. Mine is 9999. You have a 60.
oh,
Yeah, I have the same thing. I have February 1st, never, never, never,
Yeah.
0, 9999, and then 7.
oh,
Yep.
God, I don't know why it's doing that. But anyway, I'm gonna use my here. We're gonna move forward.
Mr. Zafar, if you do like a CHAG-L by itself, it gives you like the options. We can like change stuff around. It says like if you do CHAG-D, it says that we can set the date of the last password change
Yeah,
to and like the
yeah, that's what I'm trying to explain. Yeah, from default, you're gonna have to change it to something you needed here. So, but what I have is default here, right? So here, you know what? Go ahead and set password. Password PASSWD Ironman, and then go ahead and set whatever password for Ironman. Red Hat, Red Hat. Then do ch-age-l.
Iron Man,
And then do what are you seeing as a password and stuff?
still the same thing for me.
It didn't change,
No.
even though you changed the password?
Yeah.
All never? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know why it's doing that. Something's wrong.
Yeah. February 1st, 2025. Never.
Okay, so let me explain you what is the output here. The one I have on my screen is a good output, okay? Last password change. So we change it today, right? So that's why it's gonna do the timestamp. Okay. And when is the password's gonna expire on
2 months from now.
April 2nd? So that's 60 days. The on my screen, the one I have. I don't know. You guys all have the same servers. It's the same clone of each other. I have to go back and check. Maybe I might have changed somewhere, and that's where you guys are having same thing. Okay, and then we already did. Okay, let me do that. That was the shadow file. Yeah, you remember correctly, but that is something that was changed for the user when we manually created one. So okay, so normally what happens is this is when the password was created, and this is when it's doing, and minimum number of days between the password change. Okay, it says 0. Maximum number of days between the password change is 60 days. That means 60 days it will yeah, it will disable 61st day 61st day. Okay, 60 days it will be good, and then 61st day password will be you have to change the password. And then you have the reminder here. 7 days before 60 days, there would be 53 days, 53rd day, warning starts. and then the password expires. So what happens is there will be a requirement, for example, application ID, right? Oracle application ID. You don't want, because application ID will be like Oracle, for example, Oracle application database, it's on the multiple servers. And then that ID need to be able to go back and forth on those servers without any headache. You don't want an application to be running and then 60th day you come up says all of a sudden the password is not working and you will have an outage. Yeah, you will have an outage. So what you would need to do is it will come up in the request. You will have that you need a password never expire. So usually instead of never expiring, what you do is you do CHH and then you do -M. Okay. Yeah, capital M. And then capital M stands for maximum number of days. And then you do a large number. So how many days is like 9,000? If you do like 99 days, 9999999 usually is 3 years. And this is what, like 10 years? Usually Linux guys will do it like we give it a large number here. It's not, that number is going to outlast the
Before that, they have to
upgrades, yeah. So that many days, like 10,000 days, it's not going to last that long. So you usually give the number here, and then you give the name of the person, Iron Man. And then if you do CHH-L, Iron Man, and this is how it's set up here. And then 7 days before 10,000 days, you'll be long gone. So don't worry about that. Nobody's going to be there to yell at you. Okay, fine. That's 1,000,000 days. You'll be gone. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
If you are writing as for 15 days, so it can be on 15 days.
Yeah. If somebody give you a trouble, you quietly go and make a change to their ID and they'll get like a pain in their ass.
Yeah.
We yeah, so don't
I
get
saw this happen.
you don't get on a bad side of your admins. They'll do something to your ID and cause problems. And as a root, they'll never find out who did what, because there are like 10 people in your group, and it's gonna be really hard to find out who did that. So this is how you change the password here. So let's do, if you do man CHH, so you could go and read here. Expire date, you could set a date, -D is last date. There are a lot of stuff in there, hyphen uppercase I is well inactive, set the number of days of inactive, -L is show the account aging information. So there's a lot of garbage in there you could set. But if you set too many securities, then if you get locked out, then you are dead in water. So don't do too much security, then it will be very bad for yourself too. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is I think we are done with most of the stuff here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pivot to a very different new topic. Okay, so we are end of permissions and end of user management, okay? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna come up on a disk management. All right, so this is a very important topic and
Like every day.
yeah, you will never get a job without knowing this inside out.
Every day.
Yeah, so okay. So the disk management is, what do you mean by disk? This is what we are dealing with. We are dealing with a hard drive, okay? Have you guys seen this as a hard drive? On a computer, this is a physical hard drive, but on a VM, I'll show you what it looks like on a VM here. So if I go into my trusty, okay, so I have a bunch of virtual machines running here, right? And I have a machine called Zafar 1, the one I'm looking at. So let me just minimize all these machines. Okay, so this is how the VM looks here. VM means virtual machine. I might touch a little bit on this, what you guys are seeing here before the end of the class here. But if you go into settings and if you click on storage, right now, I see this, the hard disk attached to this system is about how many I have here. Can somebody take a guess?
8.
8.
Yeah, 8, exactly. I have 8 disks here. So let me take a screenshot.
What's the difference between actual size and virtual size? Virtual size is like 5.6 gigabytes.
It's a hardware. It's a hardware itself.
How come the virtual size is bigger than that?
Where do you see that?
Just our virtual size. It's virtual size coming.
Okay, so the virtual size is this and actual size is this, means this is what is actually been using. Since
Oh,
this is a OS disk, OS operating system is installed here.
basically the size is 16, but I'm using 5.6.
Yeah, 5.6 gig is being used right now. Okay. All right. So this is the physical hard drive, right? So what you have here is um okay, before that, let me show you what I'm looking at here. So in here, we could visually see here, but in the operating system, how I'm going to look at it, what the disks are attached here. It's a new command called lsblk. That means list block. Okay. So these are the list blocks here. Block means, in general terms, block means the disk here. So what I have here is I have SDA, SDB, SDC, SDD, EFGH, and then, yeah. So if you count from A to H, how many you have? 8, right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and this SR0 is a CD-ROM. Is this one here. Okay. And then under SDA, I have SDA1 and SDA2, right? So this is a system generated file system because this is a OS disk. This has been created by operating system. OS disk. And then we leave that alone. And then mostly the other ones are called, these are called the secondary disk. How many secondary disk I have? I have 7 secondary disk. You need to have at least one OS disk, and you could have as many as disks here. So how does that work? So what you could do is you have like AB, SD part remains the same here, and SDA, SDB, SDC, it goes all the way down to how much? It goes all the way down to C, Z as in zebra. Okay, it goes, it could handle a lot of disk here actually. So very first disk is the OS drive, second drive, third drive, A, B, C, it goes all the way to Z. How many letters we have in English alphabet? Up to Z, right? 26. Okay, and if you want, if you have a 27th drive, it becomes dev/SDA A. Yeah, and then it goes all the way to 26. And then if you want even more, then you could. I have seen no more than 12 or 13, but Linux operating system could handle that. Okay, so you got the idea how many it could handle. Right now, everybody should have 8 disks.
Got a question, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I run the command. I'm having the same thing which you have. So it means we are sharing the same thing, right?
No, I used a clone.
Oh,
First, I made one disk and then configured it, and then I start cloning it. I made I made one virtual machine, and then I cloned it so that everybody has it. Everybody has the same exact thing.
oh, okay. Thank you.
But if you look at the IP address, if you do IP-A and look for the one that starts with 10.1.10, okay, that one is 123.
Mm.
So the one I have here is this is a physical disk. Yeah, nowadays it could be um, no, this is how, yeah. Oh, well, the picture I found is because I want to show you the disk, the spinning disk. Yeah. Solid state is there, but the companies are still using IDE. This is called IDE, I think.
Yeah.
Because of the cost. Solid state,
Cost and some of the infrastructure changes.
yeah.
Companies are very slow to adapt to the new technology.
Yeah. So when I worked at Apple here, they had a disk made by Hitachi, and I was told some of the discs might have cost $25,000 here. So let's put in Google here and see what if that's true. Hitachi um, hard drives. Used in a data center. Okay, somebody like CDW is selling this. And they have 20 terabytes. Oh, it's pretty cheap.
It's SATA.
Yeah, it is SATA. Okay, yeah. It's SATA means it's spinning. It is not a solid state. Because a solid state, so it says data center drive. And it has a 20 TB. That means if you have an operating system here, and then if you do the math and how many virtual machine it would support, let's see here, our virtual machine is costing like 50 GB, right? If we do that 50 GB, so one tera, oh. So in 1 gigabyte, it could have 20, so 20 times 20 times 20. So it could support 400 virtual machines. And then for the big pocket, big corporations, it's a drop in a bucket. So they would have like a lot of high capacity disks there. So maybe they have these are only few terabytes here, 3000 GB. What companies make hard drive for? Okay, let's do this. Well, it's just the up for debate here, but we're not worried about that. So this is a physical disk, and in the server, the disk which is being used is called SCSI, SESI. Okay, so it stands for small computer. System interface. And standard for,
Mom,
My God,
yeah, I mean, SCSI is still better.
got my memory back into like nineties, early nineties.
That was probably was coming as a new,
Yeah, that term.
yeah, standard for physical disk. Okay, so all right, so moving along, so you guys have an idea now that there are 8 disks here, and this is what we will be managing today. So let me clear the screen. And if you do this like LSBLK, it will show you the physical. Okay, now going forward, I will be using a term physical, okay? Because it is something which is physical here. Okay, it's still virtual, but I'm going to use the term physical. And so what I have here is so here. So this is the first disk, okay? SDA. And then this is a boot. That means this is very important. It's managed by OS. And in there, this is a root file system. Now, can you recall root? You guys recall root, right? Topmost directory is what? Do you see the slash?
yeah, that's root.
That's root. And then every operating system, this is even in Windows, they have a swap. It's called virtual memory. And then these are physical disks. And here's the thing here. For Linux, everything here is what? I made a statement early on. I says everything for Linux, everything is what?
A file.
File, very good. All these things for Linux is a file. Okay, he's gonna manage it as a file. All right, let me take a screenshot. So so And then since these are physical disk, what directory should we expect these to be in? Okay. So this was part of your thing here. So the physical devices is managed in /dev directory. Okay, so if you go up here in the, okay, right here. Oh, I went too far up. Okay, here. Here I mentioned it contains all the attached device information. Okay, so these two directories we're gonna use it a lot going forward now. Very important when managing disk. Okay. So if you go in here, if you go to cd/dev, and if you do ls-l, there are usually a lot of stuff in here. Okay, so, but if you scroll up, now here are your devices here. Okay, so the one we are interested in is SD. Okay, there are so many other stuff here. I don't even know what the heck is all those. Okay, I don't use that often here. And I'm not sure if they're being used in a different environment, but the environment I always worked is this is what I deal with. SDA, and it also has registry for SD1 and SD2. Why? Because SD1 and SD2 are the partitions. Okay, so those things are automatically in there as a part of virtual machine. And when you are doing the installation from the disk, it will do it for you. So here, SDA, SDA1 and A2, and it will, the more partitions you have, the more number it goes down to. And these disks are just sitting there and getting wasted here. A, S, D, B, C, D, E, all the way to H, they are getting wasted here. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to use it here. And then you guys see this here, dev null. It is managed as, remember dev null, we use this as a black hole to send garbage output or the errors. This is where it's at. Okay, so most of the time I don't go in there and manually look in there in /dev here, because there's some information you could find out here from LSBLK. So right now we have 8 hard drives attached and 1 CD-ROM there. So it comes with the system as a CD-ROM here. So I'm gonna give a 2-minute pause and ask if you have any questions. Okay, no questions.
So it means these are one are the first one is the physical partition, and rest of them are logical partition on this, right?
No, right now all of them are virtual.
Oh,
Hey, Mr. Zafar,
Mhm.
what if you have like 20 servers and none of them are showing like a drive. Like let's say like SDA is missing or like SDB is missing.
You have to have SDA. Very good question. You have to have SDA. Now, all of a sudden, I went in there and ripped SDA out. All the operating system is gone. Actually, I will show that how we will do this. We'll delete SDA, and then see the operating system is gone. That is where the boot process is there. When you power on the switch onto the server, this are the essential files that the init process. There is an init process. I'll show you. There is one topic I will touch on init process, how that works. It's called run levels, and we'll touch base on that one here. That's a very good question that came to your mind. So if I rip apart SDA, then everything else is gone. You have to get SDA again, but the data on the disk, other disk will still be there.
Okay. So these disks are virtual, you said, right? Or they're physical hard drives that are actually on the server.
So all of you have a virtual machines, and these are all virtuals, but we are treating as a physical.
Okay, got it.
Okay. It might, that question might not clear up until you are actually working. So there are two common ways to manage disk. Okay, one is fdisk. Ahmed, you might remember this. This is called fixed disk editor. And then,
Two commands, disk and check this.
yeah, chkdsk. And then LVM. So what we gonna learn is LVM, logical disk manager. So fdisk, you could still use this, but nobody is using it, deprecated. And LVM is in use now. LVM is not new either, but it's newer than fdisk. Fdisk goes into 70s and LVM, I don't know, 90s or late 80s. Okay. So bring in your trusty Google here, LVM. No. Oh, 1998. So logical volume manager. All right. So okay. So what we're gonna do is um So we're gonna learn only LVM. I don't see any use to show you F disk. And so let's just continue with LVM here, because I don't remember in my memory anybody is using um, F disk here. So LVM stands for Logical Volume Manager, is a system of managing logical volumes. Okay, so now I said disk here, right? Disk is also referred to as volumes, blocks. Like a server, you could refer server to a server, host, computer. These are all interchangeable. You could use this, okay? But in terms of using this disk in a Linux environment, you call it volume. Or now it says file system too. And it is much more advanced and flexible than traditional method of partitioning disk into one or more segments and formatting that partition with file system. Okay, and then they are, so think of this disk as a open floor, okay? Like an open room. And then there is something called file system. Okay, partition, formatting, partition, and file system. File system means, so if you have a room, right, and is the flooring on the room, what kind of flooring you could have in your room? Yeah, there you go. You could have either wood or carpet, right? Two common ones. If you, so this is what the file system is. What kind of file system you have for the disk here. So, and the commonly used in Linux environment is ext4 and XFS file system. This was common, but it's being reduced. ext4 has a reduced use now. Okay, and XFS file system is commonly used everywhere.
Hardly includes graphics. That's why.
I'm sorry, what?
Just because it supports mostly graphics.
I'll come to that. Commonly used these days. I think there is another file system is out there, but I'm not sure. I'm not worried about that, but this is still being used here. As of this moment, it's being used here. So what we're gonna do is, so what we have is we have these file systems here, volumes, right? What we're gonna do is we're gonna right now we're gonna use the file system called we're gonna use these files, these volumes here. Okay, by the way, you don't have to use B, C, whichever one you want, you could use that, because these are not the OS disk anymore. These are called a data disk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 3 disks here. Okay? Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to So I'm going to use 3 disks here, right? I'm going to use CDE. So I'm going to use this here. But what is the address of C? The address for this is /dev/SDC /dev/SDD/dev/SDE. So what I'm going to do is let's learn a new command. pv create, okay, /dev/SDC. pv create stands for physical volume create. So it's preparing the physical volume. Okay. You did one here, or you could do multiple disks together too. SD, DSD, SDE. Okay, so it created the physical volume. Now this is ready for logical volume. All right, guys, are you guys grabbing what I'm saying so far? If not, let me know. Okay, straightforward so far, good. So what happened so far is this is what it is. So first one is a command. Second one is disk, or this one, disk2, disk3. Okay. And always if you encounter uppercase or lowercase in the document, that means those are all lowercase, not uppercase. Nothing is uppercase. Now, what we're going to learn is BLKID. So what it is showing you is showing you a block ID. Okay, so the system, when we do PV create, it creates a block ID here. So here, the output is for the system. When we create PV create, it registered with the system here that start using it as a logical volume. So this is a logical volume 1, 2, 3. This is something we just created. And this one is there too because this was created by operating system. So we're not worried about that. And then there's our other logical volume which is created /root and swap. We see /root and swap, right? Earlier when we type lsblk, this is /root and this is swap. Those are represented over here also. And SDA1, it's a file system here. So I'm going to show you that. What time is it? Okay. Now is a good time to take a 20-minute break here. So
Hey,
let's,
Mr. Zafar, real quick before we
Mhm.
take the break.
Yeah.
Do you have to have the drives in order? Like, do you have to have SDC, SDD, SDE, or could you do like SDE, SDC,
No.
SDF, FDG? Like,
All
you
of a
don't need to
sudden,
order?
all of a sudden, if FDC is gone, FDD will become FDC. The system won't give you a chance to change it. It will automatically take up upon itself to
Yeah.
do that.
But like when you do like PV create, like you know how you did dev
Definitely.
SDC,
In
you
that
could,
scenario, yes, you can.
oh,
Very
you
good
can do it out
question.
of order. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be in order.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So Okay, so let's get started. So we have, when we run BLK ID, it gives you the information here about the disk. Okay, so now there is another command is called PVS. PVS means physical volume show. So it shows the physical volumes that are available or being used. Okay, so in this scenario, the three disks we have, C, D, and E, and then A2 is one of the physical volumes, which is, this is 16 GB, this is 4 GB, this is 16 GB, and this is 16 GB. Okay, now what we're gonna do is, here on the diagram, we're gonna, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna combine all this here. Okay, so SDC is 4 GB. 4 GB, okay? And D and E are 16 GB. So if we add all this together, how many GB is gonna be?
36.
So it's gonna be
36 GB.
how much?
36.
No, 16, 16, and 4.
Yeah. 16, 16, 32.
Okay,
And 4.
okay, 36, good. 36 GB. It's fine. Why is it not showing SDD? Did you do LSBLK?
It's showing in LSBLK, but PVS it's not showing.
Because you forgot PV create. Go ahead and do PV created for the disks. Okay, so Austin, you asked that question earlier, right? This is where it is. We skipped B and we are using C, D, and E. And we could use whatever we want randomly.
Yeah. But I did a test. I tried to do like dev SDE and then dev SDD and then dev SDC like backwards, and it wouldn't, it acted as if it couldn't find SDE because I did that one first.
No, show me the command. To go in history and see if you type it wrong.
You want me to share my screen, Mrs. Zafar?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Let me stop this and take a look.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
All right.
No,
Yes,
before that, do PVS first.
PVS.
Okay, yeah, it's already
Yeah,
there.
PV. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
No, you can't run that command anymore because you see D and E, you cannot run that anymore.
Yeah. You want me to SSH into the other server?
Yeah, you could do that. You might want to SSH as ZMPT first. Oh, you set up. Okay, good.
Yeah, I did it. I did it for all of them, so
Okay,
I can
good.
just jump back and forth. Let me see. PV create.
Before that, do PVS. That way you know what you have.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. So we only have
then do
SSD.
LSBLK so that you looking at what you're doing.
Okay.
Okay, so do yeah,
Then do
PV create.
should I do SDD?
Mhm.
Okay. SDC. Oh, I did it. Why would I don't know. Maybe I did it the other way.
Yeah, there must be some kind of typo or something.
Yeah. Because I know for the other one. See, I did I put a backslash after SDE. You see right here?
Okay.
That's why I couldn't find it.
Oh,
Because I did /dev/SDE/. So it didn't it couldn't find the system couldn't find SDE/. And then I did dev SDC and then dev SDD.
mhm.
And it did those two. It combined those two first, but it told me error SDE/ is not a isn't isn't like a volume or something like that, a physical volume.
Do history there. Do Control U and type history.
Control U.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to show the error message, but I think it's because I put / after SDE that it didn't do it correctly.
So but did it took the other two?
Yeah,
CM.
it took the other two. It just didn't take the SDE
Okay. Yeah.
/ Yeah, because the / is behind
Yeah.
the yeah. Okay. All right. So that okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So
That's your answer right there.
yeah, gotcha. Sorry. Okay. Sorry about that, Mr. Fun.
No problem. Okay. So now what we have is we have 36 GB here. Okay, all combined as a single disk now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually make it a single disk. So what we're gonna do is now we're gonna run a command vg create. Okay, ZMPT1. Then what are we combining? We combining dev SDC, then space dev SDD, then space dev SDE. Okay, we combining.
The command
Yeah,
VG create.
thanks.
Mm.
REATE. It says volume group successfully created. Now ZMPT is a single disk. Okay. So here I'm gonna call it ZMPT1. So let me just put a different colors in here. This is yellow. And this is this. And this is this. So you have three different disks here. And then all three different disks, we combine it into a one big group here. So this is called a volume group. So here, now ZMPT one is a single volume. Okay, so disk one, disk two, disk three, these are all single volume now. Okay, now if you see VGS, it's a new command you're learning. Volume group show. So you see ZMPT1, and it says that it got three physical volumes in there, and it is showing. So guys, remember, it's not showing the exact size, 36 GB, but I think I mentioned somewhere, right? A little bit of this space is used for metadata. Okay, so don't worry about this. Just assume this as a 36 GB. Okay, now it says this one here. What the heck is this rel1 physical volume? So if you do lsblk, VGS, lsblk, and you see here rel, it has one physical volume, and this is the rel here. This is the volume group that is associated with this here. This volume group is sitting on here. Now, if you do VG BLK ID, before that, let me copy this. If you type BLK ID, now you still see here. So nothing much has changed here, right? It's still the part of this here. So what we're gonna do is, now we have a open disk space here. Now we have, instead of, what we did was we took three blocks and made a one big room. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the flooring in there, which is a file system. So, but what we're gonna do is, before that, we have to block it up. So you have a requirement here from, now what we're gonna do is create partitions. So all of a sudden, we are building this server from scratch, and we have a requirement here to make some partitions here. So the requirement came from the business group, and this is what they want here. For accounting, they want 4 GB. Finance is like this, and this, and this. So they all part of a same organization. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we'll come here, and let me clear the screen. Now create a logical volumes. So let me go back here. So this is a physical layer. This is we created, and then this is we created a group out of those physical layer, And then on top of that physical layer, we're going to make it a volume group. Logical volumes means logical partitions. Logical means imaginary. Okay. So how are we going to do that? We're going to learn a new command, lv create. And then we have accounting. We have to give 4 GB. -n means create logical volume, logical volume create new, -n new, and accounting, you have to give the name. I'm going to give the name, keep it everything lowercase. Accounting, I'm coming there. And then uppercase L, and you have to give the size, which is 4G. You don't have to type GB, you just have to type 4G, capital G. Lower G won't work. And where are you cutting this out of? I'm cutting this out of ZMPT1. So here I'm going to make a 4 GB cut here. Out of 36 GB, 4 GB is going to be 4 GB is reserved for accounting. Okay, when I hit enter, it says logical volume created. And if you do LVS stands for logical volume show. So it's showing root and it's sitting on rel. Okay. If you go up here, starting, because these two were pre-made, okay, because this was done by operating system here. Root is sitting on a volume group rel. Now it makes sense here. It says rel and then root. And then swap rel. So you see rel again and swap. Okay, and then you see accounting and ZMPT1. So if you run command lsblk, now you will see from D, ZMPT1 is dangling, and you see accounting in there. Okay, so now let's go ahead and create rest of them.
Selected SDD, why not SDC or SDE?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that too. Why not SDE?
So what it does is first it looks for what is the size it's doing, right?
Yeah. For
Okay, then the system is going to go, okay, where do I put this in? So no, where is it? Right here. You go up here and see, okay, so it should just, all that could accommodate here. So SDD is 16 GB here, right? So this, actually, I'll take that back here. Whichever one you're using, we're using SDC here, right? So the system is just throwing this at random here. Everybody got, it took it as a 60 SDD. Okay, the system is doing that. It doesn't really have to have that. It might end up taking this also. That part is random. Yeah. So let's see here. Let me clear this screen. And let me come back here. And then instead of accounting, what we're going to do is we're going to change it 6 GB for finance. Okay. And then what do we have? HR, right? HR is how much? 2 GB. HR is what? 2 GB. And then recruiting is 4 GB. 4 GB. Recruiting is 4 GB. Now, if we do LVS, logical volume show, so it has all this stuff here. So, but if you don't want to see the stuff for that, what you could do is you could do LVS ZMPT1. So it will just show it for ZMPT, LVS ZMPT1. It will just filter it out and it will show you only for ZMPT1. Okay, let me come there in a minute. Okay, so this is what we have here, right? Now, if we do LSBLK, okay, so let's study here a bit. So we're using C, D, and E, right? So what happened is it's taking, so it put HR on SDC here because it could have put it here, but it's calculating here. Oh, why would I put it here? Let me just go ahead and put it here because now HR, it needs only another 2, right? So it's putting 4 GB here on the 4 GB disk. So accounting, it needs only 4. So it put it here. Then what we did was we did finance, right? 6 GB. So it already thought, okay, so out of 16 GB, 12 GB is available. So it put it here. We just needed another 4 here. And then 2 GB is going over here. But if we want recruiting 4 instead of what is full here, it will spread out. So what we're going to do is I did this on purpose here, 2 GB. Later on, we're going to expand it to maybe 6 or 8 GB. And then what it'll do is it will expand itself here on this drive and this drive. Okay. So now, if we do LVS ZMPT1, before that, let me grab this part here. I'm gonna give a 2-minute pause. Anybody lagging behind? They all are caught up. Everybody's caught up, right? So let's go ahead and continue. So let me type LVS ZMPT. So it says logical volume show ZMPT1. Okay. Now, what is the use here? We can't use it yet. Okay, so to make it usable, what you have to do is you have to make it a format. Now we have to put the flooring actually.
Like we format a hard drive, then we process it all.
Yeah. So the command is mkfs. mkfs means make file system dot xfs. Now here's the trick here. Now, what do you think? How are we going to provide the information for what it needs at this point? At this point, the information it needs is, it's not here either.
Isn't it in a configuration file, Mr. Zafar?
No. So this is something new. You have to remember this, okay? mkfs dot xfs, and what you have to do is you have to, let's do this here. Let's go to cd dev and then do ls-l and grep for ZMPT or ZMPT1. So what do we have here? We have ZMPT1 in /dev, right? You know what, hold on. I'm not finding the way I'm supposed to show you CD ZMP. Okay. Now, if you do PWD, what you have to do is you have to find the format disk, which disk you want to format. So we want to format dev/ZMPT1/accounting. So you have to go in here in this directory here to find that out. To find out the disk path. Now, the command you're going to do is mkfs dot xfs. Now, which kind of path is this? Which kind of path is this?
Account absolute.
Absolute path, exactly. Why is it absolute path? Because starting from slash. Okay, so I'm going to make a file system mkfs, and it created a file system here. Then what you have to do is you have to run this. Don't use asterisk here, it's too late now. Do finance and do recruiting and HR. Okay, so where are you now? Okay, share your screen.
Starting.
MKFS dot XFS make file system, then copy the path. You did a PWD up there, right? No, do CD minus, CD space minus, and then do PWD. Okay, you have it now. So now do mkfs dot xfs and copy that path dev/gmpt1. Slash, no space, slash. Then, let's have some fun. Put an asterisk there. Yeah, hit enter. Okay, it did. Oh, you know what? No, don't do that. Just bring the line back up and then just do accounting type, hit tab key. Hit enter. So if you get the output like this is a good output. Do ls here, do ll. All four done. Create file system. Above is a good output. Okay, ll. Oh. So this is what you guys did here. Okay, now let's clear the screen. Now do BLK ID. Now you see this here, informational. Earlier you weren't seeing this. Now you're seeing dev map and all this stuff here. It's formatted. Okay, correct. You see for finance dev, and then the UUID was there. And the type is XFS file system. You could run this command and find out if it's XFS file system or something else. And then if you do clear, and if you do DFF and H, and you see these are usable. Why? Because it's being mounted here. So what we need to do is we have to mount it now, make it usable. Mount it or make it usable. We have the disk nice and good there sitting around, but what is the use if it's not being used? So for that, what you have to do is you have to create a directory for each, create directory for each file system or each department. So what do we have here? We have three things, right? So what we're gonna do is mkdir slash accounting, then slash finance, then slash recruiting, then slash HR. Okay, so you created 4 directories. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna mount this. So if you do df-h, it's not usable still. So how are we gonna mount this? We're gonna say blk id again. We keep it to the clear blk id. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say mount. It's a new command. Mount. You grab this part here, accounting space slash accounting. Okay, then again do that for all 4 of them. Mount slash, then slash finance. Guys, remember dev slash mapper slash zmpt1, and this is a minus sign. Okay, make sure you're typing it correctly. That's why I'm asking you to copy it from here above. Mount slash HR, mount, and then copy recruiting. Make sure the spelling and everything is correct and hit enter here. Now, if you do clear and if you do df-h, there you go. That's a piece of beauty right there. You have all your file system mounted in there. Okay, share your screen. Nothing is mounted or it's all mounted. One is not mounted. Okay, run the history command. HR is mounted. You mounted HR in accounting. Ah, classic example. You're messing it up, man. Okay, history. Oh, you have a little.
Okay. I forgot to change this.
So for that, clear the screen first. Do DFF and H first. Yeah, there you go. So now you see accounting is mounted on HR. That's a big no-no. So type U mount space slash HR. Okay, clear everything up and type BLKID.
This is where we keep on accounting. So
Now the other one is going to come up, accounting. See? No, I think you.
I think recruiting is still on there too, Mrs. Zafar.
Yeah. So you do U mount recruiting. Run, yeah, unmount accounting also, because I think you ran for recruiting also, so the moment you unmount this, the recruiting will try.
You mount, brother.
Yeah. You mount. And then change it to accounting tab and do DFF&H. Okay, good.
Then you want to mount the counting back to
Yeah,
accounting.
clear all that. Do history. Oh, no, don't do history. Do BLK ID. Okay, now start like mount and copy and paste from the top. Go for like accounting first. Space / accounting. Mhm. No, you want to backspace. Control U. Do Control U. No, the good practice is if you're doing this here, you are bound to make errors. Do Control U. Then do mount. Okay, fine. Mount. Then paste it now. Copy paste. Space / is that finance? Yeah, finance.
Mr. Zafar, Control U is undo.
It will clear the command line. Command.
Okay.
Okay, now do DFF&H. Okay. All right. So now, yeah, you could stop sharing. All right. So now what we could do is let's go into CD/HR. Let me just copy this part here. So go into CD/HR. And then here, what you could do is touch file 1, touch file 2. Okay. Now, what you could do is you could do ls-l. All this is writing on the disk here. It's not in the C drive anymore. How do you know what disk you are in? You do df-h and type a period there. It will tell you the file system you are in now. Do you notice the file system you are in? So if you type df-h and a period, it will tell you the directory is sitting on here. The directory is not sitting on root. So now everybody go ahead and restart the system. So the command to restart the system is systemctl reboot. No, it's fine. Just go ahead and reboot the system and hit enter. What will happen is you will go back, the connection will close and it will come back to your first, the Bastion host. All right, let's give it a 2-minute break and then I'll be back in a minute while the systems are rebooting. वैसे 4 बजे तक आ जाओ आप लोग, 4 सवा 4। ठीक है, गैदरिंग में दोस्त। All right, so I think the systems may have rebooted. So go ahead and log in. Yeah, log in. So everybody is in your system, right? Okay, so let's do df-h. Okay, all your mounting is gone. There is a big no-no. Okay, if the system crashes and it comes back up, the file system are not there. And the writing process, for example, if Oracle process is there, this is a big problem. So for that, you have a one configuration file. You have to edit that. So what you have to do is, you have to go in this folder here, VI etc fs tab. Okay, guys, don't mess this up. Before you do that, you have to make a copy of this. cp/etc/fs tab/etc/fs tab.bak. Okay, you're taking a backup and give it a date 02/01/2025. Okay, make sure you run this and everybody confirm that, then we'll move forward.
So LF -L, will it show me that file?
Yes, for that ls-l/etc/fs tab and put an asterisk there. Now the asterisk is coming back. Remember this command we were doing? I showed you asterisk when we were learning the basic commands. This is why you use it now. So now you confirm that the original file, we have a backup of original file. Now we're gonna edit the original file. Before editing, don't go in there yet. Clear the screen and do cat etcfs tab. So what you have to do is copy this part here. Copy this part and then open a notepad on your system. Open a notepad on your system.
Copy command is not working.
No, just highlight it. If you highlight, it copies, right?
Yes.
And then open a notepad and paste it in there, Control V. And guys, you see the spaces here, it's very important how these are spaces there. Don't mess it up. So now what you want to do is, now go in your history. And you might want to copy this part here. Copy that part, but remove mount and the number. So all we need is a folder information and the mount and the mount point. Okay, this is what is called here. This is called mount and this is called mount point. Where, what is the mount and what is mount point is the folder that you are mounting it to. Then come here and then hold the shift key and copy this part. We need do Control C. We need exact spacing and everything. Control V, Control V, Control V, and do Control V. It's not going to be straight. It's going to be, it will look just exactly like what you see on my screen. Okay. Now get rid of the top part. We don't need that anymore. And make sure you don't have all these spaces here. You don't have extra spaces, okay? Now what you could do is do Control A and Control C. Control A highlights everything and does the Control C. You guys have only one shot here. Don't mess it up. VI/etc fs tab Anybody lagging behind, let me know. FS tab. FS tab stands for File System Table. And then take your cursor all the way down here. Don't do I yet, do O. O as in Oscar. And then it automatically opens a new line in the insert mode, okay? Give it an extra line there and right click there. Whatever you copied from the notepad is there. And always use notepad because notepad is a clear text. It won't mess it up, the hyphens and stuff. Because the hyphen in Word document is totally different than a hyphen in a notepad because the ASCII for a hyphen is different. Okay, and hit the escape key. Now Shift:X. This is coming from your, this is coming from your VI class. To verify its work, you put in the correct information, cat etcfs tab. Okay, or now if you do df-h, okay. So if you do df-h, it's still not there, right? Now do the command mount space -a. What it does is this command goes and look into etcfs tab and loads it from there. And it takes like a fraction of a second time and then comes back without any error. That means it mounted good. Now do df-h. And you should see this here all mounted nice and correctly. Anybody's facing any issue? Okay, now go ahead and reboot again, systemctl reboot. Once you go back in there, it should show all those are mounted automatically. This process is called persistent with the reboot. That means something happened to the system, but when it came back, it kept its settings. Yeah. Okay, so give it a 2 minutes and then it should come back. I mean, it shouldn't be that long, but I'm just saying 2 minutes.
Mrs. Zafar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have some type of issue with my.
What is the issue?
It said, hold on a second. I'm trying to mount it again.
Do mount -a.
Yeah, it said, here, I'll just share my screen. Um, it says parse error at line 16 ignored. Oh, maybe it did it. Yeah, no, it didn't do it. Yeah, parse error at line 16 ignored
Yeah.
17, 18, 19.
So let's go look at ETCFS tab because it's not mounted, right?
Right. Didn't mount.
So you have to remove that thing that says mount. Go down there.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll show you how to do that. Go down
yeah.
and slowly type X. No, you don't do that either. X.
Oh, X.
Yeah, go at M. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, stop right there. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Silly
Okay, now
mistakes.
save and exit.
Yeah.
Mount -A.
Yeah. I got
There you
you.
go.
Okay.
TF-H.
Yeah. Man, silly mistake. Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, little things. Gotta pay
If you do
attention.
it in production, you made an outage and you'll be on the evening news.
Oh man. Oh
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Not trying to be on the evening news.
Oh, that's why I'm saying here. You're gonna be on the evening news if you make a mistake like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, I'm telling you, if you don't know LVM, you never will get a job. That's it. I have a news for you. You have 3 servers extra. If you want more, I could give you more. It doesn't matter. But what you have to do is you have to know this inside out. The first opening question will be, how do you mount the file system? If you can't answer it, the interview is over. So you have to know what steps I'm showing you are only the steps you need to know, and there are not a lot of steps here. This is everything you got. All you have to do is practice it, and then you will get it. If you don't know this, I mean, you will never get a job here. And logical volume will pay it's paying my bills for a long time. So just think it as it will pay your bills. Sometimes I get so much work here for months and months. All I'm doing is logical volume. I'm getting paid 8 hours a day creating logical volume. I mean, I'm not putting that much effort into it because I already have pre-made it and ready to go. All I'm just doing is creating logical volumes. Mhm. Who?
When US government start their AI project, those are the.
Yeah, this is, yeah, when you're starting, have this projects here to build new servers, these are the things that are gonna come.
The building blocks.
So AI is there, but there's still a lot of work here, but I'm not worried about AI until like 2100. So we have like 75 years before a lot of things are automated. So we have a lot of work to do because these are, I mean, AI and everything else is running on Linux now because AT&T created Linux and they thought it's a garbage. They threw it out. They created Unix. They thought they couldn't use it, but actually they created a really nice operating system. What time is it? Okay. This is it for today. We'll pick it up where we left off next week. And